All right, we got Krystyna Hutchinson back. You know her from Guys We Fucked. Been on the New York City comic circuit for a long time. How you doing, girl?
I'm good.
Yeah. Are you holding up all right? Are you one of these people who, like, some people thrive in quarantine and some people are, like, suicidal? Where you fall?
If I had to guess.
Well, I was suicidal like a couple days ago, but I'm mostly thriving. I got a
That's what I was gonna guess.
I feel like I'm, like, anybody I'm friends with or I like, they're okay with quarantine. And the people who are not, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to get along. I don't know.
I got
we're
a
not
puppy.
Oh, how old?
He's 5 months. His name's Kevin.
Hey, great name. Why'd you name him Kevin?
Kevin McAllister, after Kevin
Love
McAllister.
it, boy.
McAllister Hutchinson.
I'm loving you more and more every second here. When did you get him?
I got him, oh man, right as the quarantine hit, right as we were in lockdown.
Was
like,
it because of quarantine or... Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, if I don't get a puppy, I'm going to kill myself. So it's a fine line between thriving and suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a,
put it on a T-shirt.
It's a knife's edge dance.
Yes, I love that dance. It's my favorite.
And any like, have you had any moments of regret where it's like you got to walk him at like 5 a.m. or whatever, and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this?
Not one. This dog is amazing. The only regret was apparently I left weed on my floor, and I walked over to the dog. This was like a month ago, and he was walking crooked and falling over and looking. He looked like he was in The Exorcist, and I was like, "That's not okay." And it was 3 a.m. I was high as fuck, and I had to bring him to the ER, and I didn't even know that weed was the culprit because I thought he was having a seizure. And the doctor said he was having a neurological episode. And the first question he asked me, because it's COVID, so I had to wait at this pet ER in the parking lot in a clear tent, like it was like E.T.'s, like Elliot's house in E.T. That's what this tent looked like. And I was waiting there for like 2 hours, and then they finally called me, and they're like, "Do you have weed in your house?" I'm like, "Yeah." Why?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to New York City. Yeah, all right, narc.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's a marijuana intoxication. I was like, "Oh, he's just high." Okay.
Dude, I always wondered that, like, what I would do, not with a pet necessarily, more of a friend, where if I got to the hospital and they're like, "What do you take?"
Can I tell you?
How important is it? Are we really close to the end, or can we go a little further before I divulge my secrets here?
Well, right before quarantine, I did mushrooms, and I spoke to the devil, man.
Really?
It was the worst 12 hours of my life.
Are you a like seasoned vet, or was this like first time sort of thing?
This was my first time doing a full dose. I had these chocolates that I bought from some guy on WhatsApp, and
I was going to joke Craigslist, but it was worse.
Right. And they were good. They were like, but the farthest I would ever get was like maybe the patterns in my desk would start to morph a little bit, and I was like, okay, that was the farthest I ever got. Everything turned into a cartoon. My friend and I went to Roosevelt Island, and we did them, and everything turned into a cartoon, and I was just crying in the middle of a field, like scream crying, and he was like, "We should go," and I'm like, "Why?"
we should get out of public. We should be indoors.
And the thing is, there, like, when you're saying why, there's nothing he can do. He can't pick you up and take you, because that's a whole nother problem we got now.
Yeah, my defenses. Yes, exactly.
Put it this way: if someone sees a man picking up a screaming, crying girl and dragging her out of a park while that's not going to go well.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it in the Blacklist. They try and tell, like, look, my sister, she's just a little out of it right now. She's out of sorts. She's coming down or whatever.
My sister.
And guess what? That woman was a kidnap victim. So police should not listen to that. If they say she's coming down.
That's actually a good tip for a kidnapper to say it's your sister.
Great.
It's a what?
It's a great tip to say it's my sister.
From a kidnapper.
Yeah, that's true. Because even if it's a girlment, it's kind of like, well, it doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Right.
But sister,
we're family.
Wow, whatever,
family.
man.
So what?
We're close.
When you say you spoke to the devil, was it just the sights and seeing things, or did you go through some psychological shit?
Oh, I was crying as if I'd gotten my heart broken 3 times by 3 separate people, and my mom just died. Like the sadness that I was feeling, I wanted to die the whole time. But then
after, did you love it?
After I was like, what the fuck? This is way better. Like, I feel like $1 million ever since I've done that.
You got it all out.
I want to take that so bad just to feel that sadness. You know what I mean? Just I don't make it happy, make it sad. Give me something. Like I'm just tired of feeling the color gray.
You okay, buddy?
No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely not.
Do you do drugs? Like, because in quarantine, it's kind of like, well, quarantine's kind of lifted now, but now that it's, before it was, you're like, I might as well just do the drugs I have in my house.
Well, you know what I was thinking, like all of quarantine, because everyone's kind of doing drugs. I feel bad for the Coke boys.
Yeah.
Like no one's doing Coke. Those guys got to be out of work. They're filing for unemployment while the weed guys just cashing all the checks.
That's true. Or they're selling Coke to all like the stay-at-home moms.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
They all moved out to the burbs.
Honestly, Coke is probably. It might be spiking, just not for party reasons, just for like survival reasons for the family. Like mommy and daddy are going 1,000,000 miles a minute. I don't know what's going on.
We're organizing. Oh my God. I'll admit, I popped an Adderall or two during this quarantine to just organize the shit out of my apartment.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I can't do Adderall anymore. I did Adderall. I did it like, fairly regularly in college, as often as anyone in college did it. And, obviously it's exactly what you do. You do more cleaning than studying. But like, I think I have severe TMJ from not
Adderall?
Sucking dick.
So
Adderall.
You can't suck a dick.
Yeah, I can't. But like, I'm gonna see if I can make it crack.
Oh, yikes.
Oh.
God damn, dude.
That's just from
Adderall?
grinding from 2006 to 2010. That's just grinding.
God damn. That made me hurt.
Fucking-
I'm uncomfortable just hearing that. God damn.
You should hear me eat a
really
bagel. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Adderall wreaked havoc on me for a couple years because I did up to 70 milligrams a day at one point, and I was like, this isn't fun. Like, it was bad.
when I was taking a lot of Adderall, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I thought it was an earthquake, and it was just I could feel my heart beating through my mattress.
Oh my God, how much were you taking?
I don't know who counts. Like, come on, look, you don't
right.
count beers, you don't count milligrams of Adderall.
Oh, okay. Well, then I feel better about my substance abuse problem because
I'm making you feel better a lot today. This wasn't my intention.
that's always what you do.
Yeah, if you need to pick me up,
Friends.
you come to Feidelberg. He'll make you feel real good. How are you holding up with not being able to get on stage and whatnot? I feel like all you comics, it's like your fucking life force. So when you can't go on stage, you just shrivel up and die.
Thanks. That's pretty accurate, though. It's been weird. Luckily I have a couple podcasts, so I can just I use the podcast now as just stand-up comedy. Krystyna, who's a stand-up, has a solo podcast, and I've always loved listening to his because I could tell he tries out new bits on it.
Yeah.
It's really fucking funny. So I've started a solo podcast so I could just run bit ideas. But today, actually, I'm going to a comedy club at 4. It's like a secret open mic for comics, just so we can feel what it's like to be on stage again.
You go and speakeasy comedy?
Yeah, a little prohibition action.
Fuck yeah! That's awesome.
Is it like could it get shut down? Is it like technically illegal or?
I don't think so. This same comedy club, I guess, had a outdoor show, and then the police department shut them down. But that was before the quarantine was lifted, so that makes sense. But now you can hang out at least 10. I don't know. It's just going to be for us comics, and it's going to be an open mic. And I haven't done an open mic in a while, but they're always that's the worst audiences because they're all comedians. So they don't give a shit what you're saying or write down what they're going to say.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. First time back on stage since March.
You think it's going to be all like quarantine material?
I fucking hope not. I'm so overboard. Like I don't even like with all the like I've been marching and stuff, and I'm like fuck quarantine. I forgot about COVID. Like I've been marching. I did one march in Times Square with Black Lives Matter, and there was thousands of us in Times Square kneeling like right next to each other. And I'm like, if we don't get it, did it really ever exist? Because I don't.
If the numbers don't spike now.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do some answer. We got to get some answers on what really fucking happened here because that's the best. Do you think you're going to get it though? Do you think it's going to spike?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, everybody, when I was marching, everybody was wearing their masks. My good friend who I've hung out with before and after had it, and he has the antibodies now. So I got to get tested to see if I have the antibodies. It's like one of those tests where you're like, I don't really want to know, but you should.
Can you get the antibodies from someone who's had it and got lost it?
Yes, from what I understand.
Okay,
but all the
because
facts are changing. So
I have one buddy who had it, and
you should make out with them or suck his dick.
I was all over him, Krystyna. He didn't address it. I didn't address it. But it was a lot of thigh rubbing. We were actually on a boat, and I was like, "Oh man, these waves are crazy."
Wow. So you just straight up fucked your friend with COVID.
Yeah, fucking I was just the whole time do it for the antibodies, dude. Do it for the antibodies.
Yeah, that's why the antibodies.
Yeah, I gotta get those sweet antibodies.
So you got this new doc coming out, which I think sounds fucking awesome, by the way. I mean,
thanks.
We have definitely gotten more into the stand-up comedy world with our guests and whatnot on the podcast. So
yeah, we get the best of it because we get the funny people, but we don't have to go on stage and get humiliated. So,
so thanks for doing that.
You cheated. That's great. Good for you.
Totally gamed the system. So tell me about it. Funny Pains.
Funny Pains. It's out. It's available for stream. There's a bunch of platforms that you can stream it on. Funnypains.com is the website. But a documentary crew had been following around Wendy Starling, who is one of the funniest fucking comedians I've ever witnessed. I've told her this and she was like, okay, cool. But she's like a Chris Farley, but she's like a skinny chick, but she's like
you told a girl that she's a Chris Farley?
Yeah, because it's Wendy. She can handle it. She's very thin, so it's fine. She knows that it's not the physical, but the way she commits physically on stage is just something that you can't take your eyes off of. Mm-hmm. So I was excited to hear that they were following documentary crew was following around for 4 years and just capturing every part of her life. The doc is a great love letter to starting stand-up comedy in New York City. She moved. She was in LA for a while, but it followed us around. It followed us around when I was still working at WeWork. I had the last job I ever had was this copier girl at WeWork, and I had this access key, and we would get into all the WeWorks after midnight and rehearse. And so they captured us rehearsing for our monthly show. And they followed her around and talked about all these crazy experiences she's had in her life that were very painful, that she's able to go on stage and make fun of her rape, make fun of being institutionalized, make fun of having sugar daddy. She just doesn't give a fuck in a way that I've never seen. So, and the movie really portrays that very well. And then there's a bunch of killer stand-up comedians like Rich Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, Jim Norton, Andrew Schultz, Maron Kagani, Yamanika Saunders, and Nikki Glaser in it too. And those people are
heavy hitters. Yeah, that's a who's who
and
right
so we
there.
do roundtables with them, and that's a fucking dream. That's another way you could cheat into feeling like a stand-up comedian is if you host a roundtable with a bunch of comics. You're just and I do stand-up, and I was like, this is awesome.
Were you you just kind of did an interview in the round table? Is it I
hosted the round tables, and then they followed us around because the movie's called Funny Pain. So it's basically taking all of the terrible things that have happened to you in your life and turning them into comedy. And
I'm just not enough horrible shit has happened to me.
Really?
That's the
Nothing
problem.
Bad? What's
well,
the
no, trust me, definitely something bad. But a lot of it's later in life. I was way too happy during my formative years to be a stand-up.
That's okay. That's good. Wait, what happened later?
I went through a divorce and public scandal and all this shit. But by that point, I feel my brain's already made. It kind of is.
Yeah, the frontal lobe.
Right, I'm all set. You guys, we just had Tim Dillon on our show for the first time, and he's thriving right now with the politicized, everything. Yep. It's right up his alley. But when we were doing it, I found the quote of him where he's like, I was a closeted gay man. My mother is schizophrenic. I started doing cocaine when I was 12. He just rattled off all the shit. And I was like, yeah, I just don't have any of that stuff. I wish I did. I wish I was fucked up.
Yeah, we were one time, the last stand-up show I did was at New York Comedy Club. And I remember being in the green room and we were all going around. We just started telling stories about how our families are fucked up. And they were talking about their relatives. And I'm like, I had a really close family member try to kill themselves over the phone with me the night before I moved away to college. I win. And I did. I won it. I won it.
The champion. We'll lay down their swords.
But laughing at being at a really low point and then figuring out a way to laugh at it, that's better than sex almost.
That's everything. Yes. Yeah. And I feel once you reach the point, like you're saying with Wendy, it's when you don't give a fuck and you can say it openly with a smile on your face or laughing, and the audience is kind of Okay. Oh shit. Like we can laugh at this. Like, and then it's just, then it becomes the most intriguing, interesting thing ever because you don't get that anywhere else. Everyone else who has those fucked up issues keeps it quiet. They're ashamed of it, whatever it may be. This is the only place where we can let's laugh about assault and death and all that shit. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's the best because that's the other thing I've realized as I age is everyone's been through some shit except for you. But
how's the podcast going? Is Guys We Fucked is still thriving, still killing it?
Yeah, Guys We Fucked is going great. It's really fun. Corinne and I are both single, but you can't fuck during quarantine, so I don't.
That was my next question. Like,
hang on a second. Like. We were just in the middle of Times Square with thousands of people. Like a guy in the apartment's not quite so bad.
Well, yes. But then once that happened, once we were marching and once everybody was caring about Black Lives Matter on a global level, I was like, fuck sex. I can have sex later. But during the quarantine part, I was like, man, I went on a dating app for one day just to see. And it was just like, ugh, it was just bad. It was just bad.
You didn't break quarantine once to get laid?
Oh, no, I broke quarantine a bunch, but it wasn't to get laid.
Priorities. I love it.
Yeah. Trust me, if I had an option, I would. I don't care. But yeah.
Right. How does the show, you said you're both single now, how does the show work when you're not single?
The same. It doesn't work. So we just don't keep having sex with people, but most of our guests are not people we've had sex with. But because I've been single, we've had more of a roster of guests than I had a three-way with a porn star and a other person that wasn't a porn star, a guy, two guys, and so that was fun.
You had a threesome with a male porn star?
So two dudes, yeah, one was a porn star.
Damn, girl.
Who's that fucking guy who's not a porn star? Yeah. That dude's got more confidence than I ever have.
Oh, yeah.
Did he throw down or did he get totally outshined by the porn star?
No, both threw down. Down. The other person is in a similar field as me. And I was very proud of us all.
Dude, that's like if you were like, yo, do you want to come play basketball with Michael Jordan? I'm just gonna embarrass myself. So no. I'll go watch MJ play.
I'll sit in the corner.
I'll sit in the corner and fucking eat some popcorn.
But that happened.
I mean, that has gotta be. I cannot think of anything that would be a better dose of confidence than to walk out of a porn star with another male, and have her be like, everybody, well done with everybody. I would be on cloud fucking 11,000.
And I couldn't sleep that night. I was so happy.
How is that your first time, or have you done that often?
That was the second time I'd ever done it with two dudes. The first time I was 21, and it was two male models actually. I'm crushing.
Oh, look at this bitch!
What the fuck is going on over here?
Good for me. But because I was on this show where male models come over and renovate your apartment. It's called Hot and Handy. I don't know if it ever made it on air, but
that sounds like it was a porn. Yeah, are you sure that wasn't two porn stars? Hot
no,
and Handy,
the after party was a porn. But that was I was 21, and so that I've only done that twice.
How does that materialize with your buddy and a male porn star?
This guy was like a fuck buddy. So, and I'm because I host a podcast about sex, I'm very open to talking about I don't care. I don't, I'm not shy. So, so I think things can escalate quicker than normal because I'm not coy about it.
Right.
And this person wasn't either. So we had been sleeping together for a couple months at that point. And,
No, but wait. Okay, fine.
You haven't introduced the porn star yet.
The porn star come in?
He brought it up. The other person was like, I think he brought it up. Did he bring it up? I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
Were you watching porn with him?
No, we never did that. But he brought it up. I brought up a female, male three-way, and then he's like, would you ever be interested in doing a male, female? I'm like, wait, yeah?
Are you? Is that on the table?
And this person had followed him on Twitter, and so he was like, I want to DM him and ask, and he was like, yeah. I'm like, wait, he said yes? Oh shit. And then there was this point where the three of us were on a text exchange. I'd never met this guy, and the non-porn star guy was like, yeah, I'm going to put us on a three-way text and we can talk like dirty talk or whatever. I'm like, oh shit, word! Oh my
What?
God.
This is the best. I would love this.
Yeah. And I remember being at the Olive Tree Cafe above the Comedy Cellar downtown, asking my friend, like, what the fuck do I say?
You gotta bring the heat.
Dudes, one's a porn, like, what the fuck do I say? And I remember reading back the text. I'm like, that was so, it worked at the time, but looking back, it was
well, anytime you read back, if you go back to your like sexts, and when they're not involving two men and a porn star, it's even just regular between a guy and a girl. When you're not in that mind frame anymore, you sound ridiculous. Like all your sex no sex age well, but those I would imagine are even more.
Yeah, Corinne and I have this segment in our live show where it's called Sexting Theater, and we'll say, who's sex here? Give us your phone. We're gonna do like a theatrical reading of your sex.
Oh, that's
it's the best segment we've ever done. It's so good.
That's
amazing.
I've had the exact opposite experience of you once, where a girl asked me and a buddy to have a three-way, and we were drunk, and we were like, "Fuck yeah!" But we weren't together. It was like on a text chain, and then we got sober and dodged a three-way for like a year and a half.
yeah, next weekend.
We'd be like together, like, dude, you're busy tonight.
And she kept inquiring. She wasn't getting the hint that you were
it was like, it wasn't a regular thing. Like, it wasn't like every weekend, like, hey, what's up? It was a girl like we didn't talk to often, and we just happened to be with her one weekend. And then like it would occasionally come up every few weeks to few months for it might maybe 3 years. We're just like, hey, what are you guys up to tonight? Like, well, I moved to New Hampshire and I live in New York, so
I have a child now. I can't.
I feel like most girls, average chicks, would be intimidated by that. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, I was intimidated as hell.
Yeah.
This guy was ripped. All the things that he was. Yeah. He was.
I know how it goes.
I know what a porn guy looks like. I'll tell you what. I'm probably more fucking zoned in on my porn guys than you are.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
We always joke.
You might know him. I could say it publicly because he came on the podcast.
Oh, then
do you know Ryan Driller?
That's a great name, though. Let me see.
Maybe no.
I gotta have a face.
We'll
to
find
it.
out.
Ryan Driller.
I gotta see his dick.
Yeah,
I'll know the dick. I'll tell you that.
Wow, I'm proud of you. Your dick Rolodex is pretty up.
We always say the only time we like actually do any searching on a porn, like rather than just going down the front page of Pornhub, if I'm searching something, it's probably a male porn star.
Really?
Yeah, like the guys who I know throw down the way I like. I'm like, I'm gonna find him. The girl can change, but he's the one who drives it.
I love that. I love that, like, man love. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. The also, you just had sex with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like,
yeah, he's very good looking.
I don't recognize him. Again, I haven't seen his penis yet, but just by his Google images, I don't recognize him. But that's Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's a very good looking cat.
Yeah, he's good looking. He played one time. He told me he's like, I played Superman once, and I was like, oh my God,
you got fucked by Superman?
Well, the way I was trying to not hook up during quarantine, but meet somebody. Cause I just like when the quarantine hit, I had ended it with somebody that I was seeing and I was like, this isn't healthy for me for a couple. So could put a kibosh on it. And there was not even anybody I was flirting with. So I would go at 7:00 when they would clap for the essential workers. I live by the hospitals. So all the fire trucks would park. I'm obsessed with firefighters, like devastatingly attracted to firefighters. It's so hack. But it's really palpable. Like when I go past a firehouse, I'm like, it's weird. And I would go and bring my puppy and like put my puppy in like a sweater and be like, look, hang on, dog.
That's an episode straight out of like Always Sunny. You're using the 7 p.m. nightly ritual to honor first responders, putting their lives on the line to try to find some
COVID
dick.
around.
Yeah. Incredible. You're an OG of this game. You've been in it for a long time, so I wanted to get your perspective on another podcast in the in your realm, which was quite dramatic and a lot of headline news recently. What were your thoughts on the whole Call Her Daddy situation?
Oh, did you see our parody videos?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It was interesting. I didn't. Corinne had told me about it initially, and because I had heard about Call Her Daddy because people tweeted us like, "Oh, the Call Her Daddies, they're kind of similar to you." And then we looked in and we were like, "Oh, it's like Guys We Fuck, but like we're hot." Corinne and I love making fun of ourselves. We love doing characters. So when we started doing those parody videos, I was like, I want to make sure I have a grasp of the situation because we didn't want to be mean about it because I don't not like them. There's no beef or anything. I don't even know them, but I think they're hilarious. And but the beef with the IP and giving away your IP accidentally is something that happens to a lot of young artists, young working people. And the podcast game is so new that actually I really, it seemed from what I understood of the situation that Sophia's boyfriend was kind of like butting in.
Yeah.
And as somebody whose boyfriend butt in, like I had a 7-year relationship where he was just like, he edited the podcast and then I like dedicated my portion of my book to him. And then when we broke up, he tried to sue me for $110,000. And I was like,
that's
okay.
So, shit.
But he would, there was moments in that relationship where he would try to be controlling over, he would say, well, when we go on tour next, I'm like, we? There's no we. It's Corinne and I. What the fuck are you talking about? So I don't know if it's that kind of situation, but I really empathize with that. And just knowing your IP and knowing that somebody had to tell me that it's one of the most important things when you sign a contract that you keep your IP, your intellectual property, your ideas are everything. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the difference with Barstool is like, there's no reason for Barstool to get into it unless they have their ownership and can like.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
like the owner renegotiated and was going to give them all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't like when we signed them, when Dave negotiated with them, it wasn't like we're going to like steal these girls' IP. It was like, here's the deal. If you don't like give us the IP, then we're just not going to do this because we're not going to blow you up and have you just be able to walk away whenever you want. And they agreed to it initially. And then when they had like incredible success, they were like, well, wait a minute. And that's where it got dicey, where it was like, well, we already kind of made this agreement. But yeah, Dave eventually was like, okay, here, you can have it. And they still
unheard of. Like
I know. I'm sitting here, I'm on the other side being like, you did what, motherfucker?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's why when the one of them walked away from that, I'm like, really?
It was like,
but
it was
I don't
probably
know the other half.
No, there really is no other half. It's like,
oh really?
I think they were gonna make at least like $500,000. I think they were getting a raise. I think they were getting a higher percentage of their merch, and they were getting the IP. And she just said no. I think what happened was the boyfriend like went out. He like stuck his neck on the line to get them out of Barstool and onto another podcast network. And the other girl was like, "Let's stick around." And she was like, "Well, wait a minute."
Barstool's a great network.
Yeah, I mean, I got no complaints, and like especially if I could own my IP and get like a fucking $750,000 salary. So I don't know what the drama was there, but it took the world by storm for a week. It was like every podcast,
it was trending on Twitter. I was like, dude,
wild. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah. But what I always appreciate about you guys is I think if you talk the talk and you walk the walk. Like you will fuck a porn star and your friend. It just it goes down for real. So Guys We Fucked is always going to be a staple in that realm. So we're all going to check out Funny Pains next. Sounds unbelievable. If you're into the stand-up comic world, that sounds like an A-list of the best. So good shit. And congrats on the puppy. And thanks. I hope you get out there and keep protesting and do your thing, girl.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was good to see you guys. I want to get you guys on Guys We Fucked.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I would love that.
We can hang out right here at a studio. Right?
Yeah, so I feel like we can kind of do what we used to do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, give me your info later. Somebody has my email address. Because I would love to have you guys on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You boys are fun.
All right.
See you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.